You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 7th meeting for the Michigan City Tree Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, welcome everyone. We are at 5:30, I believe. Are we rolling?
Yes, we're at 5:30.
We're rolling.
Okay. I will call the meeting to order of the Michigan City Tree Board January 7th meeting. And let's go ahead and do roll call.
Okay, Jennifer,
Present?
Mary Ellen Murphy, present. Denise, have we heard if she's going to be attending?
I have not heard anything, I don't believe.
Dennis,
Present?
Betsy,
Present.
Laura is not able to be here, I heard, and Harshini. So we have just a quorum.
Okay, wonderful. And everyone should have received a copy of the agenda.
Yes.
Do I have, oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question. I noticed one thing was missing that I think has been on here before.
Sure.
And that's comments from the public, which usually happens before.
It's number 5.
Yeah, we moved it up.
Oh.
Right.
We moved it up.
You tricked me.
Well, you know,
But you
I
can't
know
leave
that's
it
not standard, but I think
It's
our
not.
thinking was to make it more accessible to the public so that they wouldn't necessarily have to sit through the whole thing if they didn't want to.
We've done that the last couple meetings where we moved it up, yeah.
If that is an issue that it's non-standard, we could move it back, Nancy, but we were thinking it might be more courteous to members of the public.
It depends.
Okay,
You know, if you want to use it as an educational tool,
okay,
People are welcome to stay, but
you know, so.
that way they don't have to.
okay. And maybe when we call on members of the public, they can weigh in on that. We were trying to be more courteous.
I understand.
Did you want a copy of the agenda?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments on the agenda, or do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the January 7th agenda is approved.
Oh, there's Laura.
Oh, Laura, welcome.
Okay, Laura, I'm gonna ask you to sign that.
Laura, we've just approved the agenda for today.
And Denise will not be here, she's
Oh, okay.
Hope it's not the flu.
Can you sign both of those? That one's for December.
Okay, everyone should also have received the minutes from the December 3rd, 2025 meeting.
Yes.
Any discussion or corrections on those minutes?
I had a question and that just came up because of everything that Phil and Jen and I have been dealing with regarding the tree issue in Ward 6. I noticed on the page 404, it said online list of licensed arborists, and I think it's actually licensed tree services. The city keeps a list of the businesses, not of the individuals.
I see what you're saying. That can be confusing. And I believe under the previous, one of the previous foresters did tell me that it gets a little contentious with whether you're listing their certifications, but I think that's something we should explore with the mayor just to make sure that it's very clear. It could even be added language there.
Well, I think that you are not listing licensed arborists because I went through and checked,
Yeah,
and it really is the tree services.
tree services
And
approved.
the city will not allow a business to register unless they are a licensed business, meaning they have the insurance and the bonding.
Okay,
Well, then we should also have the city update the PDF name. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm fine to move that we change the language of the minutes, because I know I inserted that in there and I don't remember exactly what was said, but of instead of licensed arborists, of saying tree services.
and we could also perhaps check to make sure on the website, is it stated as such, Nancy, if you just looked? I will check on the city website and just make sure that it is very accurately stated, because I believe there has been some confusion over exactly what that means.
Lots of confusion.
I will
Okay.
put that, yep.
So I move that we change that language from licensed arborist to tree services.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
And then vote on the,
Yep. Any other comments on the minutes from December? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to approve?
I just did that.
Oh.
That's what I
We
meant.
got- we
Oh,
have-
no, you're right. I amended the agenda. And now- Okay, now if I may, I move that we accept the minutes as
As
adjusted.
amended. Yep.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
I'm abstaining since I wasn't here.
Okay. Okay. Minutes approved.
I'm sorry. I don't recall that we voted on the amendment.
We just did.
We
No, we
did.
voted on accepting, as.
I think we
as
did.
before. Fine.
I think we did. We covered
As
both.
amended.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up on our agenda is comments from the public. We do have a 3-minute limit, but we'd like to welcome, thank you for being here. We'd like to welcome any comments from members of the public.
You can go ahead.
I don't have any comments. I'm here to observe the
Okay.
board meeting.
Wonderful.
Never attended one.
Okay, thanks for being here.
And if I may, can I introduce you so I can, on their list, or you wanna say your name, please?
Well, I'm Faye Moore, and I live in, Michigan City 401, which is Eastport neighborhood, and I am a member of the Eastport Neighborhood Association. And I was asked by Laura Henderson to attend the tree board meeting because I guess you guys have a vacancy coming up.
They don't know about that.
A possible vacancy coming up. And so she was asking me if I
Great.
wanted to join or if I knew someone that wanted to join. And I had never been to a tree board meeting. And so I said, well, let me attend the meeting
Super.
and then I could maybe find somebody.
Great.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Faye.
Thank you for being here.
And I also want to add that she's vice president of the Michigan City Sustainability Commission.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay.
And I serve on the Meals on Wheels board with Faye as
Oh,
well.
wonderful.
And that's just what she's doing now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ms. Shad, did you have any comments?
So yes, I'm Leslie Shad. I live in Duneland Beach in Michigan City also, though. And I just am here, I do appreciate your switching public comment to the front.
Okay.
I understand if you have to move it back for, uniformity purposes, but I appreciate the spirit in which it was offered to get us in and out if we needed to do that. I'd love to stay to the end almost always though. And I just am here to hear if there's an update on the ordinance. I did see that on the agenda and I appreciate getting the agenda in advance. So thank you on multiple fronts. That's it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I included you on that
I
list.
appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Any other comments?
My name is Tom Nazemick. I live at 214 Ann Street. And this is my first tree board meeting. Reason I came is that my neighbors and I have some old trees that are going to be needing replacement, and we're looking at possible options for non-invasive tree species to replace them. So I thought I just might get some information. Councilwoman Moldenauer already mentioned the tree services and how they're bonded and insured. So that's something for us to look at. So I'm already getting some information from you folks. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, could you repeat your I'm the secretary, can you repeat?
Tom Nazemick,
Okay,
Nazimek.
I appreciate that.
Thanks for being here, Tom. We love trees too. We're glad to hear that you're interested in trees. I'm not sure if you're aware that the city does currently have a large grant to remove hazardous trees and plant trees. Those do have to be in city-owned properties, the right-of-ways, the parks. 500 have already gone in. We'll be doing another planting next year. We're not sure yet how large that will be. I wonder did you get that address, Phil? If we could take
I wrote down 214 and yeah, I wrote that down just.
214 Ann. Maybe we can just take a look at that address and see if the city could help you out. And
But it's not a look at.
it's not a public.
It's definitely in my property.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what was removed? Hazardous trees or invasive trees?
I would call them invasive since none of us planted them.
They were not invited.
And they're older than the trees, so we can be sure that they were invasive. I'm talking about 30-foot silver maple. Kind
Okay.
of messy. And I've looked online and it's considered an invasive species, and I would rather replace it with a shade tree or an ornamental tree, so.
Okay.
For possibilities.
Yeah, I think we could certainly work with you, offline to advise on appropriate species that might meet your needs, right?
In the spring, in April, actually, we give away trees. They're not big potted trees, they're,
Saplings.
well, they're more than seedlings.
Between the
They're
seedling and the sapling.
Saplings. And that might be something you would be interested in.
If I
They're
might-
all native, so, by definition, they're not invasive. Actually, silver maple is native too, so,
But it's still.
it's still considered not a desirable tree, and I understand.
Has invasive tendencies. How about that?
Yeah.
There's another board member who's not here tonight who's on Save the Dunes. And they have a website that lists native plants, perennials, and trees. So that's a resource.
I believe that the city's in the process of updating our preferred species list. Is that accurate?
Mhm.
So that could be a resource as well. The reason I asked about whether it was invasive, and it sounds like it wasn't, but there is a program through NERC where I work that you can receive a very large tree for free if you remove one of these invasive species, such as calorie pear, tree of heaven, burning bush. So that's the reason I mentioned that. We'll follow up after, but one other resource for you is that every spring, NIPSCO generally has a program called Energy Saving Trees in partnership with Arbor Day Foundation, where they will mail residents trees for free. And they're not huge, they're not 10-foot trees, but they're, 2 feet, 3 feet. They're decent trees.
Okay.
Do you have trees in front of your home on the right of way?
No, the linden tree was destroyed in that storm.
Oh, my favorite.
Oh. Would you be open to planting a tree in the?
Well, we have to see because the front yard is very small. It's surrounded by concrete, and it would depend. I probably could put one in there. It was more ornamental than shade.
Okay, I'll get in touch with you because I'm in the process of compiling a list of people who want trees. Because as Jen mentioned, we're doing a spring planting, and it's always good to find out as many people as we can on the front end that want them, because we want to give people trees that want trees, and oftentimes we find out later that they don't. So maybe we could swap information after the meeting or something,
Okay,
and then I can get in
sure.
touch. We can take a look at the spot together, and I know we're going to be doing a lot of oak species and redbuds in the spring. In fact, most of what we're going to be doing because of the fall planting, we weren't able to plant oaks. So this spring planting is going to be much smaller. We're don't have the funds to do 500 trees again. So most of what we're going to put in is going to be oaks. We're kind of looking at the big picture. So we can plant 35 or 40 or 50 oaks and still be very diverse if you look at the fall 2025 planting and the spring 2026 planting together. So my intention is to do a variety of oak species, and then for the smaller areas, smaller planting spaces, we want to do redbud because for the same reason you can't plant redbud in the fall. So, and we planted a variety of other low-growing ornamentals. So this will be what we've got in plan for the spring. So we'll get in touch. And
If I might add one thing, the central city does not have a lot of oaks. The ground is very sandy.
Yeah, we know that.
We tend to have more maples, some cottonwoods, and other.
Some oaks really like sandy soil.
Do they? Okay.
Phil did a
Black oak.
Yeah, Phil did a complete inventory of all the Michigan City trees on public property, so
And we agree with you. The data does indicate that citywide, maple, in particular silver maple, are abundant. So we're working to try to diversify that a bit.
Tom, you asked a good question, and everyone on here loves trees and can't wait to tell you more about our neighborhood.
I'm sitting here.
Thank you for coming, Phil. Any other, I think that's all of our public comment. Moving on to Secretary Treasurer's report and claims.
Okay, so I sent you all what I received from the city comptroller for our two funds. And I also noted that we had a very welcome $3,000 deposit into our donation fund, and that I assume is from the mayor's grant that we'll be, working on for the project that, Phil walked us through at the last meeting. Other than that, there they are, and I guess we'll need if anyone has questions.
Mhm.
I will put in I think that's under B, but I'll just put in a little PSA if you have receipts for expenditures that you've made, please make sure that you notify the board of that. We'll vote on that to approve it, and then this is the process I'm about to go through. And then I will take those approved minutes to the comptroller to get my reimbursement, in my case for the tree tags. So I guess we could get a motion to approve the reports unless there are questions on them.
Is that something we need to approve?
I think we ask that every meeting, and then
We do?
we decide that we will
Okay.
vote on it.
Approve your money.
Okay, so moved.
Oh, wait, Betsy, okay.
And thank you for
Okay, we have a
to
motion.
the mayor.
Yes.
Yeah,
We have that later on the agenda, but we did receive the mayor's community activation grant. So we can talk about that a little more later.
is there a second?
I said,
Thank you, Laura.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Treasurer's report and claims approved. Communications.
Okay.
First, we have emails.
Yes, the Indiana DNR is sending us lots of great info. And so one or both of these I forwarded on to you all, but there's a March 11th, Terre Haute. There's a forum for recipients of the Tree City, as we have in our flag, and we've had for 25 years. People who have received that, so it's a statewide forum. So it would be nice, I think, for a board member to attend, if anyone is able to.
Can I ask how long that program might be? Cause it's a long drive for.
It is, I
short
it's
program.
all day.
I think it's all day.
And I think it starts at 8:00. Which is kind of
7:00 our time.
Right.
changing times.
And it's an early
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
I'll,
3 hours.
I'll take a look at the agenda. I think if the agenda were worth it, I would consider.
Great, excellent.
If not, might not.
And you could easily make a jumper out of that flag, I think, just to represent an idea. An idea. So that's the first item on there. And then Rachel Stenger, who usually sends these newsletters out, is on the second item. I think I sent that out to everyone.
Yes.
Okay, great. So does anyone else receive Phil, I know you do. Okay, you get these from the Indiana DNR, from the Division of Forestry, and I assume you do
I
as
do.
well. Okay, does anyone else receive these?
I will because I just signed up.
Super. Does anyone not receive them but would like to, and that I encourage you, as Betsy just did, to go to their site and sign up to receive these? Because otherwise I don't know if I'm just resending to spam everyone.
Well, I don't mind receiving it twice, but I would say that if people are interested in receiving those, we could all take it upon ourselves to subscribe, rather than having you do
Great.
that legwork.
Great. And it's a lot of stuff to explain at the meetings like this when you can get, from the horse's mouth over
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be the year of the horse too. So. Okay, so those are the emails then. And I just put a reminder on, to make sure everyone, I don't know if you wanna.
Yes. We have received the conflict of interest disclosure form and board commission form. We are at the new year, so that form does need to be completed by everyone on the board. Has everyone received that?
Yes, I did it.
Done and done.
Yes, done.
Done.
Okay. Okay. And Facebook.
Okay, I think we're holding steady at about 210, people. And I posted, I think 3 different things in December. I think something might have been on disposing of Christmas trees, just to try and get something tree related in December, which is not that easy. And winter care of trees. And I haven't put anything on our, Phil, like from your report, but I will, this coming one. I haven't put anything on that. And no, comments or questions that, of note. I don't think any. Yeah.
I might have sent you something I received.
Yes, I put it up today.
Okay, great.
And remind me what it was.
It's a virtual tree planting workshop.
That's it. Thank you.
2 hours on February 12th, 2026. And so it's via Zoom, so that might be of interest to some of our citizens or people who've not taken the community workshop. And you'd need to register by Friday, February 6th.
I did put that up there, and I know
Good.
that you have to register by February 6th.
Thank you.
I will just announce, I suppose, under communications that NERC is working with Indiana DNR to plan a tree ordinance workshop in Northwest Indiana.
Oh.
I don't have details yet. We are having our first meeting to discuss that later this month, but we're looking to do that sometime in 2026.
Good.
So you guys will be the first to know.
Who did you say NERC is working with?
With Indiana DNR.
Okay.
Are you aware that the city of South Bend did pass a tree ordinance several years ago? Steve Sass would be the contact person for that.
Okay.
So he does everything so thoroughly that may help save
he's
some
excellent.
work.
I
Okay.
think he was at the
Wonderful.
Yeah,
conference.
good guy.
And Ms. Shad, I'll be sure to include you because I know that's an area of interest. Yeah. Okay, any other communications? Okay, moving on to committee reports, outreach, and engagement.
Well, I guess there isn't a Laporte Master Gardener's
No.
show or meeting, public thing this year, which we did last year in March. So that would make our next outreach and engagement on Earth Day in April, unless there's something else to.
There is something else. Our county is not having one, but Porter County
Yeah,
is having a Master
January.
Gardener's gardening.
in a few weeks.
That's January 31st.
Correct.
Right, and
it's-
would it make any sense for us to be represented there?
I don't know that it would.
Well, I could see both because, since there isn't one here, a lot of people who live in Michigan City, I think, are gonna go to that one,
That is.
but also, it isn't our
It's
county, so I don't know.
I will also note, I learned in another meeting today that there is a Michigan City coho club, basically a fisher person's club that is having a symposium. I think they're going to do it at LaPorte County, somewhere in LaPorte County, but it's a Michigan City-based group. I don't know the typical attendance or if it would be worth our while, but I just thought I'd throw that out there as a
Do you know
potential.
about when it is?
I believe it's coming up in February sometime.
Well, backing up to the Porter County event, I have been to that, and it is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be, we could easily be lost in there.
Yep.
So I don't think, as much fun as it is, I don't think that would serve us to
No.
have somebody stationed there all day.
And
Yeah.
FYI, I cannot make that day.
And I attend that as NERC, so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Unless someone who's already planning to attend will just put out some information there about Earth Day.
I would be happy to include a flyer with NERC's materials.
Oh, that's great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I would agree, I would not be in favor of us
No.
formally attending that event in Porter County personally. But I would be happy to share, NERC Community would do that for any of our partners. I'd be happy to share any of our
Great.
materials.
Well, I'd
I
have
don't
to
know.
get that to you pretty quick.
Yeah, because I don't think we have a handout yet
Mhm.
from about the Earth Day
No,
extravaganza. Or were you thinking a different handout?
Well, I was thinking of something like we did last year that was listing the tree species we were giving away.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay,
But,
whatever
uh,
handouts will seem appropriate. How about we leave that in your good hands, or whatever you can get your hands on?
Yeah, I know that we, I generally as NERC Community Tree often take general tree materials like the tree owner's manual from U.S. Forest Service. We do have a printing budget in the grant. I don't know that we want to spend it on a Porter County event necessarily, but we are in the works of getting some materials printed, such as a flyer detailing the grant and how the city is spending the large U.S. Forest Service grant. So we could always take some of those. NERC has various little tree flyer handout things that we've accumulated from different organizations.
Well, what was so great about the LaPorte County Master Gardeners thing is it gave people a reason to come to the Earth Day thing by mentioning we were giving away free trees. So that's the message I think I'd like to put out there. I mean, we're going to be already giving out things to the people who do pick up the
Very
trees.
true.
So I don't think we need to give it to them twice.
No, I think I would agree that the big thing is getting the word out on the next upcoming Earth Day.
So
event.
would that flyer be, do you think it would be produced by them?
I think Andy Jans Davis probably could provide that as long as you contacted her sooner than later. Because she pretty well has a template that she uses every year and changes the information on it.
Right, we need the date, the location.
And she has on there very clearly tree giveaway.
And
That
a
would be
mention
great.
and a mention of Arbor Foundation's Tree City. For us to use in our material.
Do you have her contact information?
I do.
Okay,
I'd be happy to reach out to Andy.
Oh, super.
great.
Super.
You have the number, Jen?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I'll put this under outreach if we're, okay.
Yes.
I really should have mentioned it up above with the Indiana DNR. Also on that newsletter and it's in 1 week from today. It's a free webinar, Build Your Own Calorie Pair Removal Grant Program. So the Hamilton County Soil and Water Conservation District is hosting a free webinar on January 14th, I don't know when, on how communities can build their own pair removal grant programs. So I don't know if we're interested in that, if we want to mix that in with our other removals we're doing, keep this in mind for next year maybe, but it's just a week away. But if anyone wants to attend, that's on that newsletter.
We have a whole bunch of trees in the Uptown Arts District on Franklin Street.
In front of the City Hall.
Repairs, and they should all be removed and replaced.
And I don't believe that the city at this time has funds for removal of
But
invasive
if
species.
there's a grant that's
But if there were a grant, I'll probably attend the webinar.
Mhm.
And if a grant comes up that we could pursue, I think that would be,
and I think that'd be a very appropriate use of a grant like that.
and I think, DNR, Community Urban Forestry grants, they would probably be supportive of something like that.
Because there's an intense concentration of them in one area.
Yes.
Yes.
You're welcome to take that.
Oh, you know what? I got your email.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Anything else under, excuse me, outreach and engagement? Okay, moving on to the city forester's report, which everyone should have received.
Yes, thank you for sending that out.
So I spent most of the month of December with contractor oversight as far as the tree planting contract had just been winding down. I think the last tree was planted on December 3rd. So we had to go around and make sure all 500 trees were planted where they were supposed to be with the species that they were supposed to be, and that were straight, and that they were mulched, and that they were planted correctly. Contractors, which was Dogwood Hills Tree Farm from Middlebury, Indiana, did an outstanding job. I could not have been happier with the work
Great.
they did.
Has anyone seen these trees driving around town?
Oh, many trees.
And they look planted perfectly.
So we got all those inspected and logged into the city's GIS. So we got 500 more trees in our tree population and 500 less planting spaces. So that's win-win.
Yes.
And then as that was going on, the tree removal contract was in full swing throughout the month of December, as you probably also saw driving around town. So
Yeah.
a lot of oversight there, and just trying to keep up with when trees were removed, changing their status to stump and communicating with that contractor and also making sure that they're getting progress payments as they went. So that was most of the month, but a lot of miles on the truck, a lot of driving.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the snow didn't cause any problems at all.
Yeah, between November 15th and December 15th was rough. So that's how I spent most of the month. I think I did one pre-development site survey. It was a small one on Willard and Michigan Boulevard. And then one came up right before Christmas that I actually did today, just north of the data center, where their NIPSCO's got to put the transmission lines in, and I think the gas line also. So yeah,
That's a gas line.
yep. So that's what I've been working on. It's detailed in the Forester's report. So in the interest of time, I pre-sent it to you so you can read it. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer it. But really, I did kind of a more of a year in review for you guys as well, because it was the year that we finally got to see the rubber meet the road, as they say.
Mhm.
You know, I know when the former forester first received the grant money and put out the RFP for the tree inventory that we eventually were awarded. He said, I think it was in the newspaper, I remember him saying, 2024 is going to be the year to plan all this.
Mhm.
You have to do. He called it the study, and it's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Sleep
And
Creek
it enabled us to take a very measured look at the tree population
Mhm.
and build sets of trees that needed to be removed, sets of planting spaces that would make the most impact. The tree inventory was a very valuable tool for being able to strategize at what needed to be removed. And then there was the combination of the tree inventory and then the LiDAR canopy cover analysis, which I think I showed you guys after. I think it was like March or April. Those two together formed the basis of where we wanted to plant, because it wasn't just looking at the individual planting spaces, but the canopy cover analysis allowed us to see where there were gaps in the canopy. And because it's because of this grant, also money had to be used in the climate and economic justice areas for disadvantaged neighborhoods, and we were able to overlay the CEJ areas with the gaps in the canopy, and that's where all the trees got planted. So,
yeah.
And then once we found those areas, then we were able to look at what the open planting spaces were in those areas. And in a nutshell, in a very short way of saying it, that's how we decided where the trees were going. So 2025, I think, was a really good year. I'm very positive about it because we
It's a
made the city a lot
tremendous
safer.
amount of work. that
Made the
was
city a
done
lot
in a short
safer,
time.
and hopefully what we're going to see, and I do believe we will, is the amount of claims against the city for falling limbs, failed trees. I mean, in the 6 months that I've been here, or 7 months now, there was a multitude of, broken windshields, car damage, a
Really?
few roof damage just from trees that the city's insurance company was paying out on. And so this is going to be a wonderful thing to start to see those numbers come down.
Yeah.
When you remove 300 trees that are, we call them potential high-risk trees.
Mhm.
And so I think we've made a lot of progress. And I do want to say this too, because it's really important when you go back and read the minutes from last month. If you recall, the watering contract,
Yes.
the watering bid, so we had 3 bidders and they were all very high. And we explored the possibility of attempting to do this in-house.
That's right.
Not to save money, right, because it's grant money, but be able to get it done in-house and use the grant money to remove and plant more trees. And so we did a pretty thorough study on whether or not that was feasible, and I was really hoping it would. Unfortunately, it was not, and it really came down to the city would have to make a capital investment in equipment, because the grant, our line item for equipment had been maxed out by the purchase of an aerial lift truck, and so we were able to. It would have covered labor. We could have also done it with. This is what I really wanted to do, was get some workforce development going. We could have done it by hiring some young people from the city of Michigan City that needed to work. And what it really all came down to is they just didn't have the amount of trucks.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
to purchase trucks would not have been
Sure.
possible with grant money. So we had to eventually hire the lowest bidder. Now, what the good news is in these meeting minutes, and it's not that it's an inconsistency or a mistake by any means, but I think we were just speculating the grant funds would be depleted as a result of that, and the good thing is that they're not. So Jen, President Birchfield and I met with our pastor agent for the U.S. Forest Service, Drew Hart, on December 17th, along with the city's financial team. And we went through the spending so far and went through what's in the budget still. And so we did not deplete the funds, and we still have money for tree planting and tree removal next year. Now, it's not going to be to the same magnitude as we saw this year. We won't be planting 500 trees in the spring, and we won't be removing 350 trees next year by using these grant funds. But as you heard me say before, we're going to get those oaks in the ground, no matter what it takes. And we're going to get some redbuds in there too. And we still have some to continue to go on to the next level. So the removals are prioritized for the high risk trees, but that doesn't mean they're every declining or bad trees gone. It's just that they're kind of on a lower level of priority. And that includes maybe some smaller trees that are dead, or some trees that didn't necessarily have a target to impact if they were to fail. So there will be more tree removal, there will be more tree planting next year. And the tree watering is all signed, and contracts are signed, and they're ready to go as soon as we get to mid-May. So all good stuff. And lastly, thank you for having me.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
all your
Phil.
work. It's
Yeah.
really amazing. It's
Really,
great to see.
yes, an incredible amount of work that's been accomplished in a very short period. I'm impressed that you pulled it off, sir.
Yeah,
Especially coming in the middle.
Yep, and we thank you.
You're welcome.
so I just have a question under other projects. Is this where we can have a brief discussion about the beach trees in Ward 6?
Yes,
Would it be
yes,
appropriate to address it here?
I think so. Yes.
Okay, okay. So, I just profound thanks on my part to both Jennifer and to Phil, and
And to you
also
as well, and city staff.
to
Kelly?
Kelly Smith in the mayor's office, that all three of us coordinated our efforts together to deal with a delicate situation in Ward 6 in one of the residential areas. An extremely old growth beech tree was scheduled to be cut down, and there were questions about that by the resident whose easement that was planted in. It was between his property and his neighbor's property right there. And he thought the tree was sound, there was no reason to cut it down, it was over 100 years old, and he really wanted to keep it. But when the concern came up, Phil got out very quickly, took a picture of the lower part of the tree, and you could see that
You could see
there was-
daylight.
You could see damage close to the root system. And he did a formal assessment also. He filled out the form. He also did the report, which included photographs. And then ultimately, when the tree was cut down, a picture was taken of it, and it was extremely hollow on the inside. So it
Happens with
was,
beach.
it was extremely hazardous, and it could have fallen, and damaged a car. It could have, caused serious harm to an individual, or it could have killed an animal or somebody's pet, So I firmly believe that us three working together, that we slowed down the process, we did the assessments that needed to be made, and came to consensus on what needed to be done in that situation. Jen, you were in communication, you also were in communication, I was in communication with the property owner, as was the mayor's office. So we were very transparent about the whole process and explained what we had been doing, what needed to be done, and what happened. I know I sent up a follow-up email to the individual and his spouse after we were all done. I heard nothing. I forwarded that again to them, still have heard nothing. But I've been in communication with them 2 times, so I think that we have done our due diligence to,
Certainly.
I just explained to them, I said, I'm deeply saddened by this also.
Beautiful tree. But
I love beach.
I cried when my dad cut down the American elms when they had that germ disease when I was a child. And then later on, he cut down our tree of heavens when I was a teenager, and those were the trees we climbed as kids. You know, so that was heartbreaking, and you know, this saddened me also. So, and I know all of us that love trees, we want to save all of them, but we can't.
We can't.
They age, just like all of us, they age.
Yeah, exactly.
Speak for yourself.
So I just wanted everybody on the tree board to be aware of this came up. We dealt with it immediately. It was great teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
bringing this all together and coming up with a resolution to it. Now, the other thing that I sent you an email and you an email today too about the grinding of that stump
Yes.
because it's still there.
Yeah, Phil, do we have any information on that in terms of how we work with the contractor for a timeline of, I know that, I believe the process is that they remove the tree and then they have a separate crew, a separate truck come to do the post work. Do we have any timeline from them on when they can get the stumps ground and things removed, just so that we get that site cleaned up? That one in particular?
Well, first of all, the contractor was granted a 60-day extension
Yes.
of the contract due to
Because
some
of
other
weather.
circumstances.
Yeah.
Well,
No, not that.
many other circumstances. I mean,
Okay.
for example, there was trees where there was a camper parked under a tree that they couldn't
Wow.
figure out who owned it.
Okay.
Once they figured out the person was in Florida and there was no way to move it.
And it
We
really
had a
was
few,
just a profound amount of work to be
Yeah.
completed in
Well,
such
yeah.
a short
Yeah.
amount of
Yeah.
time. It's unheard of.
And
Yeah.
we had a few situations where NIPSCO had to de-energize some lines in order to safely remove trees. And in one case, there was 2 dates set up for them to show up, and they never did.
Mhm.
And so as we were getting closer to December 31st, and then the golf course, there's I think 5 or 6 trees maybe on the golf course that are essentially underwater. So when we had the hard freeze and all the snow, and then right there at Christmas there was a thaw. There's no way they could access them unless they were going to do it by boat. So anyway, because of these circumstances, they were granted. And and the big one, actually, the biggest one was from there was snow cover for 3 out of the 4 weeks to end the year, and the locates, they weren't able to do the locates because the stumps. There were stumps that were removed going back to September
Oh.
that were under the snow.
Sure.
And locates have been slow generally,
So-
we found.
Yeah, I
that
can't
they're slower
tell
than
you
usual.
exactly when the stump will be ground or when the logs are going to be picked up, because I think for that particular tree, I do believe the logs are actually still there too.
They are.
So the tree removal crew comes in, does their thing, and the log truck follows behind them, and then the stump grinding.
Mhm.
It's an assembly line type
Yeah.
process along those lines. So it's all eventually going to get done. And so we just ask people for their patience. It's kind of one of those, I don't know if you've ever seen the signs like "Pardon our dust." You know?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to remove 350 trees and like
Yeah.
flip a switch and it looks perfect again, right? So luckily this is in the winter when most things don't look pristine anyway. We get, gray piles of snow everywhere and that kind of thing. So by spring, even had some concerns about, ruts in the parkways or once the snow melts, there's lots of sawdust on the sidewalks and things like that. But by the time we get to spring, we won't even be able to tell that things were done there. So
Okay.
I do have 2 comments I'd like to make about that particular tree. Just to kind of follow up with everything that Nancy said, which was all great, and I just want to say that these are the days that are not fun in urban forestry, because as you said, we're not out there wanting to cut these trees down. And when I specifically say urban forestry, urban forestry is a certain discipline where we're taking trees that out in the woods somewhere probably would have been fine. You don't have targets. Okay, the tree risk assessment qualification teaches you that a tree isn't high risk if there's no target.
Yeah.
It has to be a combination of potential for tree failure, which was extremely high on that tree due to the fact that you could see through it. And you didn't need any technological devices to drill it, to
I saw the picture.
sonic to
It's in daylight. Yeah.
you could stand on the at the base of that tree and look through it. You're not supposed to be able to see through trees. I knew before it was cut down. Like the pictures that were taken afterwards, the ones that spoke thousands of words, I knew that's exactly what it was going to look like. I've been doing this a long time. I knew what that log was going to look like once the tree was cut because I could see through the tree. There's a gap that's several inches. You could see right through it. You could look right inside it both ways and see that it was hollow. And the trunk above that had a crack going up on the house side, up about 20 feet, which I have all pictures to document that. There has to be a high potential for failure, and then there have to be targets involved. And in this case, there was 3 homes in the church across the street, power lines, parked cars, people in the yard, pedestrians, walking dogs. So unfortunately, in the world of urban forestry, we have to be able to identify those potential high-risk situations and mitigate them the best we can. There's no mitigating thing you could do for a tree like that. Back in the old days, we used to try to fill them with concrete. So we realized that just sped up the rate of decay. So it was very unfortunate. So thank you very much for understanding that. Once I got the call from the resident, I was out there the next day. I spoke with him. I did my best to make him understand everything that I just told you guys, almost the same words. And that wasn't a message that was received well, unfortunately. So I documented it, which is what a forester does. The protocols to use the International Society of Arboriculture's TRACK program. It stands for Tree Risk Assessment Qualification. So I did the TRACK forms. It keyed out just like I knew it would as a high-risk tree. And so I just wanted to say all that. And then the other thing I wanted to say was, as that situation turned out, it turned out to be more about people and other issues, I think, than it was that specific tree. I was approached by many people from, well, not many, let's say it correctly, several people from your ward. And there was more at play than that tree. That I think that there was a lot of anger that was festering. And I think it all
near the
manifested itself in that tree, because some of the things I heard were pretty far out there. For example, this tree's being removed because of the data center. It was like one thing is not connected with the other. This is a U.S. Forest Service grant that we were awarded over 2 years ago. Over a year ago, I identified that tree as being a potential high-risk tree over 1 year ago. This did not have anything to do with the data center. Other things that I heard were mayor's retaliation against certain people. And it was, I identified that tree over a year ago, and that tree had been on the removal list from the very first removal list that I gave to the former forester back when I thought he was going to be overseeing all this. He has that. I mean, all this is documented, and I like to stick with things that you can document, things that are discoverable and provable that I can point my finger at and say, this is where it was. So some of the residents out there necessarily weren't weighing in on things that were factual, provable, or documentable things. It just kind of got spun out of control a little bit. So, and it was unfortunate that it worked out that way. But it does go to show you that trees can be very emotional things.
Well, and I will just state, Phil, that like you said, you have, it's open door. These meetings are open to the public. You have all the documentation. I believe you've brought most of that documentation today. So if there are questions that we can formally respond to, we're happy to do that. You have all of the documentation.
I know that both you and I did put invitations on Facebook.
They were invited, yes.
In the groups that it was a conversation item, so people knew about this meeting.
Yes.
I made an announcement last night at the Michigan City Council meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody to come.
Thank you.
So, we put the word out, and these meetings are open, and we do want to engage in dialogue with people.
Absolutely.
So there's a better understanding of trees, and not only the benefits that they bring to us, but also the risks that are associated with them. And I actually remembered several years ago, a woman was killed in Michigan City.
I remember.
And that was on
an article,
Greenwood, no, I'm sorry, not Greenwood, the other one.
I think it was
No, it was Greenwood, yes.
But a tree
A
led by
large limb had fallen out of a tree
and killed
and crushed her car, and she was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and she did end up dying.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was not on city property, but the property owner had the tree assessed for risk, and it was high risk, and it was scheduled to be taken down, but it just didn't get taken down in time.
Yeah.
So we have that track record in Michigan City of what can happen to an
Yes.
individual if trees like this are not taken care of.
Mhm.
And I don't like bringing up things like that, but that's reality of the
Trees, they're
situation
infrastructure.
in what you
and
call
age.
urban forestry. So we have a responsibility to take care of hazards when we
Mhm.
see them, because otherwise the city is held liable, for things like that.
Absolutely.
So, also too, yes, Ward 6 has been extremely challenging and trying, because everything there somehow is getting tied back to the data center,
Mhm, yeah.
And people are just enraged by it, they're very upset, and, it's just spilling over into everything else.
Sure.
And I'm trying to do mitigation and trying to, state facts when things come up, so that people are getting information that's clear and is accurate. So that's my commitment, to this whole process.
Well, I have something I'm gonna send you later, a little fact sheet that I started working on, based on the things that we heard about not just that tree, but the IRA, the integrity of the IRA grant process itself. I mean, we were in bonkers town for a while there, weren't we?
Yeah.
Just the crazy things that we were hearing. I mean, I had, residents from that immediate area, and it was just like, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. No, that's not true. And all this stuff is very documentable.
You have documentation of the bidding process.
I've read the grant. I mean,
More than due diligence was done.
and so it's. I think it would be beneficial for you to let me send something to you after the meeting.
Okay.
Just because I wrote it up just to with the intent of being able to help get the truth out there a little bit.
Yeah.
Because social media, I'm not on Facebook and I'm not on any of these things. So I heard from Jen and some other people some of the stuff that was being said, and a lot of it was said to my face too, and it was just pretty crazy. So.
Well, as a resident of Ward 6, Nancy, I appreciate everything you've done and said.
Thank you.
I appreciate you as well, communicating out to people. Both of you handled this very professionally, courtesy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to make a special request, when they do get down to stump grinding, can we move this particular tree and neighborhood to high priority to the top of the list?
I can talk to the contractor about that tomorrow. They're already stumped.
It's such a delicate
So-
situation.
I would agree if there's any potential. I understand that in the field there are constraints, but
I get it, but all of them are not covered by snow any
Yeah.
longer, because they're taking pictures of every single stump,
yeah,
every single beech tree.
yeah.
That was
Just
now.
just as courtesy to whatever extent we can expedite them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's can happen tomorrow or anything by that nature, but
I can.
I would just prioritize it for
Absolutely.
goodwill. And then similarly, Phil, I think you said you already have that neighborhood. I know that a new 2-inch beech tree doesn't replace an old growth tree.
No, but I agreed to Kelly.
But
Kelly's made a suggestion
if they would-
for this resident. I said absolutely yes.
If they would like them in the
Yeah,
city public right of way, Nancy, I believe
And
you've also
I'm
volunteered.
committed to purchasing a larger size tree,
Mhm. Yeah.
a beech.
Yeah.
To take its,
Whatever we can do in goodwill.
to take its place, in the person's yard.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to be very clear that can't go in the city easement,
Yeah.
But as, from.
Yeah, no, I've already got it. I've already got that
Stocks is already
on my
Yeah.
list. After Kelly mentioned it, I said, let's plant a beach there for them, whatever they want.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the other,
again, it's like extending an olive branch here. This
Exactly.
wasn't done out of
Exactly.
personal malice. It's insane to think that this was somehow antagonistic or whatever. So the best thing you can do at that point is
Just
think
that olive
well of it.
branch.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna plant you a new tree.
Just
Like,
what we can do.
Can we move on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have something for Phil.
Yes, please.
I met with the folks at Friendship Gardens earlier this week. Everybody's really excited about having you come up. What I proposed at the last meeting we had is that wanted to look into the feasibility of having Phil not necessarily doing a tree inventory, but a tree survey of Friendship Gardens, and that we want to establish a tree walk where trees can be identified, hopefully using QR codes. We have a responsibility to community, to do education, and so people are as anxious as can be to meet with you as soon as possible. And Mondays generally are available, sometimes Tuesdays, and so not next week obviously, but any remainder Mondays in this month that you're available, get back to me and let me know about it.
Okay.
And just to
And-
clarify, that's not related to the tree board or to the grant at all. That's just something that you are doing separately.
We are, but the question has to do with the fact that Friendship Gardens is a not-for-profit organization within the confines of Michigan City, and we wanted to explore and find out in regard to what is covered and what is not, and what your fees are, and what grant availabilities there may be in regard to what your fees may be, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of discussion that would go into this when we can meet. Just as a footnote, if you haven't been out there, we got a grant, and you will not recognize the ground or the street level of Friendship Gardens. We got a grant. All of the invasive have been removed. We have, from the road, you have an absolutely pristine view of freestanding trees.
Yes.
And you're actually able to see the contour of the landscape, you know, down into the garden now. So
Mm-hmm.
so.
Okay, and then just
Stop
doing a
by.
time check, we've, you know,
Yep,
it's
we're getting there.
6:25.
We're getting there, so let's keep moving along. You two can follow up
Yeah,
offline
yep.
with that.
We will get back.
Moving on to old business. I think I've already stated the Mayor's Community Activation Grant. We have received notification that has been awarded, so I'll be working with Phil to just execute that tool as the board has already approved that proposal. Updates from running to-do list.
And I think people have received that.
Yes.
That's
So
what I send you, I get out, I try and get it out the day or two after we have our meetings, the draft minutes. So
So
I encourage everyone to look those over as soon as possible
Yep.
and send me any corrections.
Yep, unless there are any comments on those, send any corrections if you'd like.
Thank you.
I believe we've already, to some degree, covered that Arbor Day Tree City application was approved.
Yes, I'll just, 3 statements then. Very happy to say that our state forester has approved our application, and now it goes to the National Arbor Day Foundation for approval, and they usually don't announce those until like March, April or something like that. And, but what the state forester did kind of push back on a little bit, rightly so, and I provided documentation, is that we need to specify, and the Sustainability Committee definitely needs to, in their documentation, needs to specify that it's, Arbor Day Tree City, is a part of this. That, because I'm using that poster, saying like that's when we have our tree giveaway.
So that needs to be on the PR, all of the PR stuff.
Please, yes. And I do have something I will draft and send to the mayor again, and I do at the beginning of the year, to try and get the proclamation again for that day.
Thank you.
And then maybe we just make a bigger deal of it if that could be announced, at that. Maybe not read the whole proclamation, but we'll have it mounted someplace.
No, I think it's appropriate to read the
Great.
whole proclamation at a city council meeting.
Oh, super.
That's where it should happen.
Oh,
Wonderful.
oh,
So just let me know.
better than I was hoping.
Just let me know when you want to be on the
Yep.
agenda to be there and read your proclamation.
Super, will do.
Fantastic.
And we'll get logos for Arbor Day and Tree City on all of the flyers there.
Excellent.
Yes,
Okay.
Yep,
great. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, it's a good program. It's
Excellent.
good. It should be on there, absolutely. Okay, moving on to new business. We had Public Works Director Wendy Vacher on the tree ordinance progress, which I know you're interested in. Wendy was not able to be here this evening, and you guys have been so busy with the tree planting and removal contracts. I would suggest that we inquire with Wendy if she's available for our next meeting. I don't know if there's any progress to report on that, or if we should just
That's just
wait
like
until there is. Yeah,
I've
you've
given
been doing
my
other
feedback,
things.
which I think I shared with you at one
Yeah.
of the past meetings.
Mhm.
I know Wendy's really, really busy. I know.
Yeah.
I think she's
It's been the
really
holidays,
trying to get to one
too.
of these meetings.
Yeah.
Maybe she could send a rep.
Well, Leslie, we should be in communication next time, so I can tell you when to get up here, so you don't have to come and wait for her and have her not show up.
I like to come.
Yeah,
Good.
then I don't feel so bad.
Well, the thing I would say to her, if she were here, is when they do come up with a proposed ordinance, I think it should come to the tree board for our, advice and
Full
consent.
attention. No, I think it is.
Okay,
That's why she wants to come.
all right, great.
No, I think there's nothing but good faith and cooperation, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't worry about that.
Great.
Great. Okay. Election of board officers. Did we determine that needs to be conducted tonight?
Funny you should mention that. So there's nothing, looking at the website, there's nothing that says we even have any officers, but of course we do. We have to have a president to conduct the meeting and a secretary to record this because we don't have AI to do that yet. And a vice president, to take over as needs be. So I was looking at the site, I'm gonna share what I have here. So this is under, Michigan City, boards and commissions for tree board. The Michigan City Tree Board consists of 7 voting members. 1 member is a member of the Common Council elected by the council serving a 1-year term. Because I think there was some question about if the council,
That's the ordinance?
I'm reading it from the city website.
Okay.
I don't know an ordinance that
And
spells that out. So I assume that is the liaison who has is a voting member, and that's 1 of 7. Now currently, we've been assuming that the liaison is non-voting.
I think we need to pull out the original ordinance and don't go by the summaries
okay.
But this-
that are on the website.
All right,
Okay,
Mhm.
and I'm just gonna say that because the one for the Sustainability Commission is not correct.
okay. Well, I'll continue and say 1 member is then a member of the Common Council, serving
And
1-year
that's a
term.
voting member.
That's a voting
interesting,
member.
Because that's not a liaison.
Correct.
Yeah.
1 is a 1-year term, serving a 1-year term. 1 is a Common Council appointee nominated by a city neighborhood association, serving a 1-year term. And 5 are mayoral appointees with the advice and consent of the Common Council serving 3-year terms. No less than 4 members, I'll go on, must be residents of the city and it's preferred at least 2 possess a degree in forestry, horticulture, or landscape architecture, or be a certified arborist or a full-time professional in the tree care industry with a minimum of 5 years' experience. So that's what I found. Do you know where? Can you email me the link for the original ordinance? Because I don't know where
You
that
need
is.
to contact the clerk's office,
Oh, okay,
and just let them know you need a copy of the original ordinance.
okay,
And then they'll search for that and they'll send that copy to you.
okay.
So that would be either Amanda or Gail in the clerk's office. So I would send an email to both of them. And if you need their direct emails, just
Oh,
send
no,
me.
I send them stuff all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fine,
And-
you know who they are.
And I believe Dr. Cora has asked that he not be reappointed as a liaison, I think due to there being confusion over having 2, which we thank Dr. Cora for such amazing service over the years. But I think the question is then, your understanding is that the city council liaison is not a voting position?
That was my understanding.
Okay,
Okay,
so we just need to confirm that per the original
but if
ordinance?
that's not the case, then,
Did we have an extra member?
Tracy Tillman is still our president of the city council, and she gave to us last night all the appointments we had, and she said they may remain the same unless I hear from you differently.
Okay,
So I will continue.
okay,
in
So she gave you a list and you're on it.
Whatever role it is, okay?
She gave you a list last night,
Yeah.
and you were on it for tree board,
Yeah,
and Dr. Cora is not.
I can't remember.
Okay, okay,
I can't remember.
Okay.
that's okay. But I think it was Dr. Cora's intention
To step down.
to step down, so.
Okay.
Okay, well, we'll keep that under, maybe that becomes old business and we follow up on it next
Yep.
time.
Okay.
so do we elect president, vice president, secretary?
We're to vote on that once a year?
Again, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not,
by tradition,
Yeah.
but if not ordinance.
would we like to vote on those positions, staying as
Yeah.
they are, or do we feel that we need a
I
committee
think
to
that's
review them?
fine.
I would certainly entertain anyone that would like to take
Yes.
over as secretary,
Or as
but I will
president.
continue on, yeah.
I move that we elect the same officers to the same positions.
Re-elect, yes.
Okay, do we have a second? Or any-
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, election of board officers complete. We've also re-welcomed our city council liaison.
Thank you, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yep. Any comments from the council liaison?
I made all my comments earlier, so I'll pass.
Wonderful, thank you. Any comments from the board members?
I have one comment. I thank the comptroller's office for reimbursing me for the trees that we will be giving away at the birthday extravaganza.
Excellent.
Okay, next meeting, February.
And I-
I'm sorry.
And I thank Laura for saying that she will take the minutes at the next meeting. I'll be away in February.
Okay, wonderful.
Looking at some tall fir trees with orange things.
Yes. Hope to see monarchs in Mexico.
Ah, wonderful.
Ah.
Jealous.
Those are the orange things.
Wonder what you're talking about.
It took me a while too. Okay.
Okay, our next meeting of the tree board is February 4th, 2026 at 5:30 right here in this building.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
We have an announcement.
Oh, yes, please.
Faye, thank you very much for reminding me of this. The mayor's actually holding a board and commission and committee training session
Oh,
on Wednesday, January 14th from 5 to 6 p.m. This is being held at City Hall in the downstairs community room. Okay, and again today I attended the trash and beautification workshop. She again has invited anybody and everybody that's a part of a board, commission, or committee to be present at that meeting. They're gonna go over things like Robert's Rules of Orders.
Okay, wonderful.
Minute.
I will absolutely
minute
attend.
specifications, how to conduct meetings, stuff like that, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will absolutely be
Can
there.
we extend that invitation to our two newest board members?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Mhm.
please,
Because
thank you.
those who are here are fairly
Yes.
familiar with that.
Yeah.
I will, I'll look into that. If you have something you can send to me, or if someone has something you can send to me, otherwise I'd try to find it.
How are you informed? I'm just wondering,
I
did we
was
not get on?
informed of that at a city council meeting 2 times ago,
Okay,
and
Yeah,
it was a verbal thing.
okay, but I think, yes, I would
How
like
did you find
to,
out, Faye?
I thought she made the announcement at the.
Again on
night.
Tuesday. It
okay,
was the last 2 city
City
council
council.
meetings.
okay,
I haven't seen anything written.
I saw it someplace, but I can't remember where.
okay. But I will follow up on that and make sure that we send it out to the entire tree board so they have the opportunity to attend. And I myself, I'm not looking at my calendar right now, but I will absolutely prioritize attending that meeting.
It might be longer than 6. My calendar just automatically gives it an hour.
Okay,
Yeah,
I gotcha.
That peer removal grant webinar is also on the 14th,
Oh,
earlier in
okay,
the day, not that.
okay.
So it starts at 5, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Faye.
Thank you, Faye. I'm looking forward
That
to
was
that.
a good catch. Actually, I have the workshop down from 5 to 7, so it is 2 hours.
See,
Okay,
Makes sense, yeah.
okay,
I
wonderful.
thought that was pretty short.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I so moved.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned.